Hey, so Hallis here. It's going to be a weird episode this week, so I am not going to be in it. We couldn't record this week, which is a bummer. Our software was being buggy, and we just called it a night. But Claire has took it upon herself to film a solo episode. So I haven't edited it yet. I don't know how much editing I will do for it, but the next 20 minutes or so will be interesting. From all the descriptions that I've had of it, it's just kind of Claire being crazy while talking to herself for 15 minutes onwards. So enjoy that. We'll resume normal episodes soon. We just gotta figure our shit out. And also, big things on the horizon. Stay tuned for March, maybe. And if it doesn't happen in March, then this ignore this. This episode is only out so we can fill the continuity. All right, so it makes it look like we have a somewhat consistent upload schedule instead of just kind of us doing this podcast whenever. Do 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 do.
Dear Ava, Hallis won't be in this one, so it'll be our first solo episode because he's too brought down by what you did. I know you didn't mean it. I know you thought it was innocent. I mean, we told you not to bring Cheese Whiz. Me and Hallis looked at you over and over again and said, don't bring Cheese Whiz. Don't do it. But when I invited you to that lake house, when I invited you to party with me and my friends and my family, including my cousin Bort, you did it anyways. And you said it would be fine. Bort's 3 tons and 2 foot tall. Bort is basically a star, okay? It's so dense. He's fine. But he's not fine. Okay, you don't know Bort's story like we do. You don't know the recovery process Bort had to go through. And it sickens me that you still have the audacity to ask when you can come to my lake house with the really cool water slide and the 5 jet skis that we can all race on because no one else lives by the lake. It makes me sick that you think you gotta go and play in my hedge maze and see my petting zoo with my goats. It disgusts me that you have the audacity to even possibly imagine taking a little dip, putting your little piggly wigglies in my diamond encrusted hot tub. Because Bort died in that hot tub. And you killed him. He was going to be an American hero. Was going to be the first ever trans man to participate in the boulder shot put competition in the Autumn Olympics. And that's gone. That's gone. Even their rival went to the funeral. Why weren't you at the funeral, Ava? You make me sick. It's been 7 years and you've said nothing. You just want to keep playing around in our giant elaborate sprinkler system that looks like a really cool octopus, and each tentacle is its own sprinkler and it spritz around everywhere and it gets you all soaking wet. Yeah, I know you want to play it because it's such a cool sprinkler system. And don't even get me started about how I know you wish you had access to my cotton candy machine that can make any flavor of cotton candy. It could add a candy floss and flavor extract, okay? I know you want to get in that cotton candy. I know you want to go and you want to make habanero cotton candy because I've seen you try to do it whenever you sneak in. Stop putting mango habanero salsa in my fucking cotton candy machine, Ava. You piece of shit. God. I'm sorry. It just gets me so Gets me so fucking heated. You're disgusting. How dare you even think of still being my friend? You insist. I'm sorry, do you want to just act like nothing happened? You keep inviting me out to Dave and Buster happy hours. And sure, I go out there with you. Sure, I get shit-faced drunk and lose all my money to the claw machine. Okay, I know I do that. That's my problem. Do you know why it's my problem? Because you killed Bort by bringing that fucking Cheese Whiz. All he needed was a can. And he fucking relapsed. Drowned in my triple Olympic sized aquarium full of 12 great white sharks, 17 beluga whales, and a whole lot of chum. And he died. He died there. Ripped apart by the goddamn sea turtles who I've been giving meth to. It's not my fault I keep rescuing meth addicted turtles and I gotta siphon down their, dependence by giving them more meth. It's not my fault. I'm a fucking hero. While you're out here going to the Red Rock Amphitheater in Colorado and watching a bunch of movies and listening to Imagine Dragons. It's not my fault you're living in 2013 and think Imagine Dragons is good music. It's not my fault. I should have been watching Bort. They were stressed out and I trusted you. I really fucking trusted you. But look where that trust fucking got me. Embarrassing. Fucking embarrassing. I thought you were a good person. You're not. You're a waste of space. And one day, when you are so close, so fucking close to having the go-kart championship at the Spring Olympics, I'll be there, pissing in your gas tank, filling it up with my thick, murky urine, my thick, viscous urine, sloughing into your gas tank until your car sputters out and crashes. Because that's what you deserve. That's what you deserve. Now, as listeners of the show who have been hearing this ultimately private letter to that rat bastard, Ava, Bort was my landlord. I tipped him 75% every day I paid rent. We were best friends. I spoke at his wedding. He's watered my plants. He'll even fix my plumbing after 6 months of me asking because he just cares for me that much. I was there for him when his wife cheated on him. And Ava took that. But one of his favorite stories, as we read creepypastas, was the penis monkey. A story written by the junkie fella on r/creepypasta. So I'm going to be reading that today. Here is the penis monkey. I awoke last night with pins and needles coating my entire body. The sharp sting that got worse the more I moved my limbs was a shock to my system. But at least it got me out of a horrible nightmare. In the nightmare, I was at a beach with no one on it. Only me. It was completely abandoned. As if everyone took their things and ran from some unknowable entity. In the distance was a Ferris wheel, which looked like it had been rusted for years, yet still spun. I boarded it and rested my weary bones. I stood back up once I reached the top of the spinning wheel and looked out into the ocean sunset. It was too beautiful to be real. I felt a presence next to me. It was comforting. I turned around, and there she was, in all her wonder, the penis monkey. We embraced, and I stroked her silky fur, which led down to one of her many penis appendages. At this point, I knew it was a dream, but I didn't care. I loved her. That's when things took a turn for the worse. A musky yet familiar smell filled my nostrils. I looked down into the water and saw white tendrils emerge from the depths and begin to cover the entire beach before working its way up the Ferris wheel. All I could do was watch in horror as the penis monkey was coated in a mass of tendrils. I could still hear her screams of agony as I too was covered in a sticky white substance. When I woke up, it all felt so real. But I didn't have much time to think about it as I was late for work. I live within walking distance from my job, but in order to get there, I have to walk through some sketchy alleyways. During the day, it's not so bad, but I've heard rumors of people going missing at night. I never really have to work overtime, so this doesn't affect me too much. So I just go about my day blissfully ignorant. When I was heading up to work today, however, I noticed something strange. That same musky yet familiar smell was prevalent when I was walking down the alley. I thought nothing of it and rushed to work. By then, I was already late. My boss, the penis monkey, had gone missing a few days ago. Nobody really cared since he was real, since he was a. My boss, I'm sorry, fucking what? My boss, the penis monkey, had gone missing a few days ago. No one really cared since he was a prick, but it meant I could get away with being late. On my way back to work, I noticed something very, very strange. A white, sticky substance was on the red brick wall of the alley. It had a musky, yet familiar smell. I shoved whatever insane thoughts crept into the back of my head and picked up the pace. The sooner I got home, the better. I ran home, hoping that once I sunk my head into the pillow, I would forget all the nightmares and whatever twisted thoughts of the alleyway I had. I reached my door, but the lock had broken. Oh God, someone had broken into my home. I slowly opened the door, and instantly that same musky yet familiar smell filled my nostrils. Don't be real. I remember thinking to myself. I slowly but surely approached my bedroom where the smell seemed strongest. I slowly opened the door and carefully turned the lights on. My bed had been covered in the same white sticky substance I saw in the alleyway, and in my dream, I stood there in shock and fear. I couldn't process what I was looking at. Suddenly, I felt a presence behind me. I quickly turned around and was horrified about what I saw. A monkey. A monkey, about 7 feet tall, wearing a black hoodie with mysterious stains on it. It had no feet or hands. Instead, it had penises at the end of its limbs. It began to scream loudly and pounced on me. I tried to fight it, but there was nothing I could do. Liquid began to spurt from its appendages, drip onto me. It was hot, but cooled quickly and hardened until I was completely cocooned by liquid. I passed out. I don't know how long it had been before I woke up, but I wasn't in my room anymore. Instead, I was in the alleyway, and completely covered in the liquid. I looked around as there were many others like me, covered in the same liquid the creature squirted out. After a bit of struggling, I managed to break free of my prison. I fell to the ground, but it wasn't my hands that caught my fall. Please, God, no. I looked down to where my hands were and noticed it was penises. I examined myself further. I was covered in damp hazel fur. I screamed, for in that moment I realized I was no longer human. I had become the penis monkey. Now, I'm aware the penis monkey has some sequels to it, so I'm personally going to try and find any of the sequels to the penis monkey, but I don't think there are any, sadly, which is a bit sad. Um, yeah, no, it looks like the junkie fella only has 2 posts, and it is in fact the penis monkey. Neither of them look very big. You know, the one in Scary Stories only having 10 upvotes, and the other one having 320. Neither of these seem like they would be big, but I'm aware if you are aware of the basic horror scene, you would be familiar with the penis monkey and all of its possible theories. I know this was a. Hold on. No, I only see videos of it. I don't know where the sequels are, but there used to be 4 parts. I'm sorry, what the fuck? I'm looking for it and I found and said The Curious Case of the Mischievous Monkey. Oh no, it's AI slap. Never mind. Shame. Someone's replacing all of my penis monkey art. I hope you all found equal solace in this rather dreary episode of Cosmic Concierge. I apologize for its brevity, only being about 15 minutes, but it was much more a eulogy for the dead Bort. Died of a cheese whiz overdose that led to them drowning in the jello pits of my lavish 3-acre cabin with at least 4 stories, each one with a really dope slide attached to it and a really cool thing and a petting zoo. And it's so fucking awesome and cool, but you're not allowed there anymore, Ava, because I'm burning it down. I'm burning it all down.